Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. Thank you for attending today's webinar. My name is Lauren Corbett-Noon, and I will be your moderator for today's session. I can't believe that it's been over 1 year, just about a year, since we did a similar webinar last November on EHS best practices for warehouse operations. So this is very timely. Okay. So before we begin, you can take note that there's a copy of today's slide deck, and any additional materials that we post will be available in the handouts tab that's on your screen. If you have any questions during the broadcast, you can submit them through the Q&A tab. And if we run out of time, we will answer all unanswered questions via follow-up email. Today's webinar will be available on demand about 1 to 2 hours after we wrap up, and you will receive an email notifying you that the recording is available. So to introduce you to our presenters for today's session, Kelly Sampliner is a consultant with Antea Group and leads our industry retail team. And she's also leads the retail working group for Inogen Alliance. She has over 14 years of environmental health and safety consulting experience. And Penny Pan is a senior EHS consultant with a new global consulting based in China, which is also one of our Inogen Alliance associates. She has extensive experience in environmental health safety programs and specializes in the retail sector. And lastly, I'm Lauren Corbett-Noon, and I am Antea Group's consumer and industrial goods segment leader. I have over 20 years environment, health, safety, and sustainability experience, primarily associated with industrial and commercial industries. So to kick us off, I will send it over to Kelly.
Thanks, Lauren. So here's a look at our agenda for our webinar today. We'll provide a brief overview of the Inogen Alliance. We'll discuss projections for holiday sales this year in the United States as well as China. And an overview of the holiday season and its influence on retail sales. We'll go over warehouse management and logistics processes. We'll discuss basic maintenance and organizational tips for both retail stores and warehouses. We'll provide guidelines for the safe handling of hazardous materials. We'll review strategies to support employees during the demanding holiday period. And we'll end with methods for recognizing and preventing workplace violence incidents. So Antea Group is a founding member of the Inogen Alliance, which is a global network of environmental, health, safety, and sustainability consultants working together through one point of contact to support companies around the world. For more than 20 years, our alliance has connected trusted local experts across over 80 countries to help clients manage risk, meet regulation, and drive sustainable performance. What makes us unique is our model. The Alliance brings together independent consulting firms who truly understand the local culture, language, and regulations within their countries, all collaborating seamlessly to deliver consistent, high-quality results for our global clients. Antea Group and A New Consulting are both board members of the Inogen Alliance. We also come together in 11 global working groups focused on different industries and topics, from health and safety to technology and retail. As Lauren mentioned, I lead the retail working group, and Penny, who will be speaking next, is also a member of this group. So as you hear from us today, this is the global lens that we're using. We're bringing local expertise and shared insights from around the world. And with that, I'll pass to Penny to take us through the holiday season and its impact on retail locations and warehouses.
Thank you, Kelly. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Penny from A New Consulting in China, and Kelly and we will be your EHS spirit guide for this holiday season. All right, let's look at the numbers. As we look ahead to the upcoming peak season, it's important to understand not just the business projections, but how these trends will impact on people and operations from an EHS perspective. In the US last year, Black Friday in-store was fine, a modest 0.7% growth, but online e-commerce exploded by 14.6%. Everyone decided to shop in their pajamas. And in China, the holiday sales growth was a robust 6 to 10%, with e-commerce right there driving it. The projection for both our countries for this year, up. So what does that mean for us? It means our warehouse and retail spaces are about to become the main characters in their own action movie. So what do these numbers mean for EHS leaders? It means we need to prepare for the human impact behind those percentages. More online orders means more warehouse activities and means more chances for things to go boom. Whether you are in Shanghai or Seattle, here's the EHS team need to pay attention. Expanded operations, increased foot traffic, an uptick in incidents, increased order demands, employees burnout, the added challenge of hiring seasonal employees. The holidays are coming whether we are ready or not, and EHS teams are the holiday elves of safety. No magic hats, but tough jobs. For EHS teams, that means reinforcing training, scheduling preventive maintenance, and building in recovery time for employees to sustain safe, high-performance operations. So let's start from housekeeping. I know it's the Cinderella of EHS, but during the holiday, it's absolutely critical. Let's get specific. In retail stores, how retailers manage incoming packaging, materials, and store layouts to keep our space safe and efficient. Number one, a plan for storing packages and boxes. It's important to have a clear plan for where packages go as soon as they arrive and how packaging materials will be disposed of. This not only keeps areas organized, but helps prevent blocked walkways, tripping hazards, and even fire risks from excess cardboard. A good practice is to assign 1 or 2 people per shift who are responsible for checking and clearing backroom areas. Number 2, boxes away from high traffic areas. Boxes left in doorways, walkways, or in front of electrical panels can become instant hazards. Remind your teams to keep this area clear, especially near exits and high traffic areas. If you operate in a shared space or large facility, signage or floor marking can be a simple but powerful reminder. Number 3, areas throughout the shift. Housekeeping shouldn't fall on a single person or one team. Rotating responsibilities helps ensure everyone takes part in maintaining safe work areas. It also keeps people more aware of risks in different sections of the store or facility. Number 4, this approach encourages employees to take small, continuous actions rather than waiting for a clear-up period at the end of a shift. For example, if a box is empty, break it down immediately rather than stacking it for later. Over time, this builds a culture of accountability and reduces last-minute clutter. Number 5, wet floors during business hours are one of the top causes of customer slips and falls. Whenever possible, schedule mopping for after the closing. If you have to mop during store hours, make sure to use wet floor signs to alert customers. Number 6, take a few minutes to walk your floor plan and ensure vision is clear for both customers and employees. Look for areas where carts, ladders, or merchandise might create pinch points or blind corners. Number 7, lights, cards, or decorative displays can bring fun and festival energy, but they can also introduce new hazards. Make sure cards are secured along walls and the decorations don't block fire extinguishers or exits. These are simple, actionable steps, but when done consistently, they make a huge difference in safety, efficiency, and even customer experience during the peak season. Remember, proactive housekeeping isn't just about cleanliness. It's about keeping everyone safe and operations running smoothly. Now let's shift our focus to warehouse operations, an area that seems some of the highest risk during busy seasons. With increased product flow and faster-paced activity, a proactive safety mindset becomes critical. Number one, visibility is the foundation of safety in a warehouse. Dark zones can increase the risk of collisions, missed steps, or unnoticed spills. Before the season ramps up, make time to walk the entire facility and check that all lighting is working, especially in aisles, docks, and storage areas. And consider adding temporary lighting in areas that tend to get shadowed. Number two, start each shift with a quick safety moment. This sets the tone for the day of keep awareness high. Even 2 minutes reminder about today's top hazards or a quick review of near misses can make a huge impact. When leaders prioritize safety first thing in the day, it delivers the message that safety is a priority. Number three, dock areas are high-risk zones, especially during busy shipping periods. Ensure dock plates are secure. Keep surfaces dry and clear. Control moisture in cold weather and use absorbents to prevent accidents. Number four, when pits are operating, minimize foot traffic, stack tasks, and communicate pit schedules to ensure operator safety. Number five, compactors and balers can fill up fast during high volume periods, leading to backlogs or unsafe stacking. Scheduling a mid-shift run helps prevent overflow and keeps the dock or staging area. Number six, take time to review your traffic flow, especially where pedestrians and equipment intersect. If you have blind corners, adding convex mirrors can greatly improve visibility. And if your paint lines or floor tapes are faded, refresh them during low traffic time before the peak rush hits. Number seven, make sure all warehouse equipment is ready for the increased workload. Inspect the conveyor, ladders, dock plates, and pits for wear and tear. Catching a maintenance issue early helps prevent unexpected downtime and, more importantly, prevent injuries from malfunctioning gear. These are the foundational checks that keep operations running smoothly and safely when the pace picks up. Remember, busy season amplify risks, but with consistent habit and proactive planning, those risks can be managed before they run into incidents. The second session I would like to share is hazardous material handling. If your retail store or warehouse is storing hazardous materials, seasonal employees require specific trainings to handling and shipping hazardous materials. Depending upon the product's training, could just be general awareness training, or you may need to add function-specific training or more detailed training depending upon roles and responsibilities. I would like to use a simple example for your better understanding for the following 4 pillars. General awareness is like, this is a chemical, not orange juice. Function-specific training is like to tell you, if you drive the forklift, don't use it as a bottle opener. Spill response is to tell you, stop, drop, and roll is for people, not for pallets of bleach. Proper stowing adequate is like to tell you, if you have to jump like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible to reach the box, it's not proper. Anyway, training is not handing seasonal employees a manual. I mean showing them the spill kit, practicing the response, and making sure they know that the phrase, I will deal with it later, does not apply to the bright orange liquid spreading across the floor. Let's talk about the storage. Prevent damage, leaks, and spills by following proper storage rules in both the front and back of the store. For the front of the store, do not overfill shelves. This may lead to products falling off of the shelves or being knocked off by customers. For the back of the store, this is where most issues occur due to overflowness. In storage areas in the back of the store, ensure boxes and pallets of products are not stacked to where crushing the bottom of the pile occurs, and the products are being damaged, leading to leakage. There needs to be enough space for people and equipment to safely move without contacting products. Inventory management ensure the back of the store storage is not exceeding the permitted limits for the different helmet types. If you have helmet products, you also have an occupancy permit that may limit the amount of helmet volume that are allowed to be in the building at any given time. The storage of warehouse is a little more complicated. Don't create domino effect. Overstuffing shelves is a falling object hazard for your employees and a spill waiting to happen. Stop bad blind dates for chemicals. Your warehouse management system or training must ensure incompatible helmet isn't stored together unless you want unplanned fireworks shows or toxic fumes. Respect your warehouse max occupancy during the holidays. Know your permit limits. Too much stuff leads to bad storage and bigger hazards. Have a plan for the extra chemical guests. Now I'm going to invite Kelly for the next sessions.
Thanks, Penny. So I'll take us through some psychosocial challenges and mitigation measures. So as we move through the peak season, it's not just the physical safety that we need to be aware of, but it's also the mental and emotional well-being of our employees. Burnout can look different from person to person. Sometimes it's subtle. An employee who's normally upbeat might become quieter, more withdrawn, or easily frustrated. You might notice irritability, disengagement, or people taking more frequent breaks. These are often signs of mental fatigue, especially in times of extended overtime. Another key to look for is behavioral patterns. Things like an uptick in last-minute callouts or frequent tardiness. These issues often trace back to stress, exhaustion, or overwhelm. Frontline supervisors play a crucial role here because they're usually the first to see changes in energy, communication, and focus. So why does burnout matter for EHS? Because it directly affects attention, judgment, and reaction time. When employees are tired or disengaged, we often see a decline in productivity and slower response times to hazards or operational changes, an increase in errors, especially during repetitive or high volume tasks, and in customer facing roles, visible fatigue, which can affect service quality and team morale. One of the biggest operational shifts during the holiday season is the surge of seasonal employees. While these workers are essential to meet demand, their onboarding and training and integration into existing teams can create unique safety challenges. Many facilities see workforce numbers jump dramatically, sometimes by 400 to 600% in warehouses and up to 200% in retail settings. That growth can change everything, from how teams communicate, to how safely work gets done, to how crowded spaces become. It's important to plan for the rush and not just react to it. With so many new faces coming in quickly, onboarding can be compressed or rushed. This can create potential gaps in training, especially around equipment operation, PPE use, or hazardous material storage and handling, like Penny mentioned earlier. Often, our seasonal employees don't have the same familiarity with emergency response procedures, things like where to go during an evacuation, how to report an injury, or who to contact during an emergency. Making sure seasonal employees are kept in the know will make a huge difference. Beyond training, there's also the human factor. Seasonal employees often feel the pressure to prove themselves, that they need to learn fast and keep up with full-time staff. That pressure or perceived pressure can lead to rushed decisions or unsafe shortcuts. Remind team leads to look out for new employees who might hesitate to ask questions or admit to confusion. When people feel like they're under pressure or even just think they are, judgment can slip. They might take risks like lifting too much weight alone, skipping safety checks, or operating equipment that they're not fully trained on. Encourage supervisors to slow the pace just enough to make safety a visible priority and not an afterthought. And finally, remember that leadership tone matters. Taking the extra minute during onboarding to show genuine empathy, to say, if you're unsure, ask questions, or my door is always open, makes people feel safe in speaking up. Promoting psychological safety can prevent physical injuries later, and a simple conversation can go a long way. So as we wrap up the discussion on burnout and seasonal stress, it's important to remember that leadership presence, not just policies, often make the biggest difference. A few small, consistent actions can go a long way toward keeping teams grounded, motivated, and safe. Start with empathy. Recognizing that employees are human, especially during high pressure periods, can build trust. Sometimes that simply means checking in with someone who looks tired or frustrated, asking how they're doing, or offering a quick word of appreciation. Compassion doesn't slow down operations, it actually strengthens engagement and focus. Gratitude makes a huge difference. A simple thank you or a public acknowledgement in a morning huddle can significantly boost morale. Recognition reminds employees that their extra effort during the busy times is seen and valued, and that helps prevent emotional fatigue and disengagement. Supervisors and peers are often the first to notice these changes in behavior. If someone is showing signs and symptoms like irritability or exhaustion or disengagement, don't ignore it. Bring it to management's attention early so adjustments can be made before it impacts safety or performance. When possible, review shift patterns and try to allow for adequate rest between long shifts. Even short periods can make a huge difference in preventing errors, improving alertness, and keeping morale high. Short breaks, even up to 3 to 5 minutes, can give employees the time that they need to reset physically as well as mentally. Encourage employees to stretch, hydrate, or step outside for a breath of fresh air. That small pause can help recalibrate their focus and reduce fatigue-related incidents. And encourage teams to speak up when they're feeling overwhelmed or unsafe. When leaders respond with understanding instead of frustration, it builds that psychological safety and keeps small problems from becoming larger ones. One of the most powerful questions you can ask is, what do you need right now? This invites dialogue, it shows that you care, and often uncovers small fixes that can make a big impact, like adjusting a workflow, providing help, or even just listening. So now we will shift gears a little bit and talk about workplace violence prevention. Stress levels tend to rise during the holidays, and this isn't just for customers, but for employees as well. With busier stores, tighter schedules, and heightened emotions, it's important to take proactive steps to prevent and respond to potential workplace violence situations. Workplace violence isn't just limited to the physical side of things. This can include verbal abuse, threats, intimidation, or any behavior that makes someone feel unsafe. This can happen between employees or may involve customers, delivery drivers, or members of the public. Holidays can be stressful for everyone in different ways. Holidays can cause financial strain, long hours, and busy crowds, and this all contributes to stress. Recognizing that stress can affect behavior helps us approach situations with more empathy and awareness before it escalates. Train your employees, including the seasonal team members, to recognize potentially unsafe situations early. This could mean recognizing a rising frustration in a customer's tone, tension between coworkers, or signs that someone is agitated. Providing basic de-escalation skills like staying calm, speaking slowly, and calling for backup early can prevent an incident before it happens. Every location should have a clear plan for what to do if an incident occurs, including who to contact, where to go, and how to get help. It's equally important that seasonal employees are included in that communication. In a stressful situation, people default to what they know, so practicing or reviewing the plan ahead of time will make a big difference. And for high traffic days like Black Friday or large sales events, additional security, if possible, could go a long way. Making sure that opening and closing procedures are done in pairs whenever possible. This is because the buddy system provides both accountability and safety. And finally, remind everyone that no product, sale, or situation is worth their safety. If something doesn't feel right, step away and get help. We can replace merchandise, but we can't replace our people. And when it comes to warehouse operations, workplace violence often stems from internal pressures rather than external confrontations. Things like stress, fatigue, long hours, production deadlines, or even miscommunication can create tension between employees. Sometimes interpersonal conflicts that might seem small, disagreements over workload, equipment use, or shift responsibilities can escalate when people are tired or under pressure. This is where supervisors and team leads can play a crucial role. Encourage them to notice early warning signs like irritability, isolation, or increased frustration between workers. Intervening early can prevent a situation from growing into something more serious. And this is especially important during the peak season when tempers can run short and everyone's running on adrenaline. Training employees to recognize and respond appropriately to unsafe situations is key. Everyone, including seasonal workers, should know how to identify when a situation feels off and how to step back safely. Basic de-escalation skills can go a long way. Staying calm, maintaining physical distance, and avoiding confrontation, and then involving a supervisor immediately. And finally, everyone should have a clear plan in place for responding to incidents. Employees should know who to contact, how to report an issue, and what the immediate next steps are. Practicing that response, just like a safety drill, ensures that people can act quickly and calmly if something does happen. So as we wrap up today's session, I want to leave you with this reminder. The holiday rush doesn't just test our operations, it tests our culture of care. When demand spikes, the simplest habits like keeping aisles clear, taking micro breaks, and recognizing early signs of fatigue can make all the difference. Training, empathy, and communication are our strongest tools for preventing incidents and burnout, not just during the holidays, but anytime. Encourage our teams to speak up, slow down when needed, and remember that safety always comes before speed or sales. With proactive planning and compassionate leadership, we can make this season not only productive, but safe and sustainable for everyone. On your screen, you'll see a handout section, and you'll find a checklist that you can use to self-assess your own operations to the topics that we discussed during the webinar today. We hope you found this information valuable and that your team stays safe throughout the holiday season. And with that, I will pass it back to Lauren.
Great. Thank you, Penny and Kelly. It was very well done, and thank you so much for the information. In the interest of time, we are going to answer any questions and all questions that have been submitted throughout the webinar. We will send a follow-up email with responses to those questions. And as a reminder, you can download a copy of the slides and the materials that Kelly mentioned, including that checklist from that handouts tab on your screen. So on behalf of Antea Group and Antea Consulting, and of course, Indigent Alliance, thank you all for joining us. We hope that you found this as informational as I did, and stay healthy, stay safe, and have a great rest of the day.